Hello and welcome to Hey, I Like, the podcast where we talk about all the things that make our little neurodivergent brains go bonkers. I am your usual host, Jess, and I am joined here today by my lovely friend and pseudo grandchild. Would you like to introduce yourself? Sorry.
I would like to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Lucy. I use she, her pronouns. I sometimes transcript, and I remember.
What are we here to talk about?
We are here to talk about girl guiding, which is a big
Yay!
youth movement from not only the UK, all over the world, and that I am a part of, and that you have been a part of, and that's
I
many people
have.
have been part of, probably. Although I don't know, it doesn't feel as well known, but it is super well known.
Yeah. I think I was in Rainbows and Brownies possibly before you were born.
Don't think about that. You don't need to have a crisis on live on that
I'm
episode.
so
Fine.
old. Anyways,
You are. I'm sorry.
and this is why
Your
you call me
bones creak.
grandma.
Yeah. So I have been a brownie. I've been a guide. I'm currently a ranger, which is the one that I think people know about the least,
Yes.
and that is from 14 to 18, and then you can become a leader. And then sort of in between that, you can become a young leader, which technically you have your own uniform, but I think most people just wear their rangers. But I have seen young leader uniform. It's meh. I'm sorry, guys. It's just a bit meh.
Yeah.
I need to never recommend this to my friend as well. They're gonna be like, "How dare you diss our uniform?" I'm sorry, Hannah. I'm sorry.
To be fair, most uniforms are a bit yeah.
I love mine though. Mine is great.
I'm sure it is.
Go get the current Rangers uniform, guys. Even if you're not a Ranger, the hoodies are impeccable. I have inside pockets, outside pockets, and I've got like a zip pocket, and I can fit so much stuff in there. But yes, so we start with rainbows. I was not a rainbow. My mum did not allow me to be a rainbow because it was like a school, which was in a different town to where I lived.
Yeah.
So no rainbows for me. But that's when you are. I'm going to check and Google this, but I think it's 4 to 7.
I believe so.
Yes, it is
It's
4 to 7. I
it's when
know
you're
my
very
stuff.
young.
Yeah, it's when you're tiny little. I was gonna
Primary
say baby
school.
shower, but you're in primary school. You're not really chewing the furniture at that point.
Key
And
stage
they
one.
have key stage one. Yeah, key stage one, and they wear red. That's their color. They have red trousers, and they have a red top.
Yep.
I'm looking up. I feel I need to accurately like tell you what the uniform is, and except I never wore one. And the last time I saw some rainbows was like last district day. So let me just Google it.
I was a rainbow back in the day, but it might have changed since then. But yeah, you're right. You have a red.
It looks like
It's
a
lots of
tracksuit.
red.
It's got yeah. So you've got like some red trousers. You've got a white and red top, and then you've got a little red jumper. And then it's
Ah,
sort of the same when you're in brownies. You've got your brown
yes.
trousers,
Brown and yellow for
yellow,
brownies.
yeah, your brownie and yellow. And then guides, you don't get trousers anymore. You just sort of have to wear leggings, which is great because less uniform. Uniform is expensive. So you've got your blue top, your bright red guide system on, which is the weirdest color scheme. You've got your bright red collar, and then your green and yellow zip. It's great. So
This
you've got your
sounds
grey shirt.
more rainbow coloured than the rainbow's uniform.
I know. And then you've got your jacket, and honestly, the guides' jackets like crawled across the floor, so the ranger jackets could fly. Can't fit anything in there. My phone was constantly falling out, which I suppose was just sort of maybe that was the Lord saying, "Don't bring your phone to guides." But it's like
Possibly, yes.
possibly, and then it didn't fit. And there was at one point where I was like, "I've got a year, and this doesn't fit me." But like, but I was like, I'm gonna be a ranger really soon, so there's no point getting a new one. I didn't have a great relationship with my coach uniform. It was not fun wearing a thing that was slightly too small for you. But then rangers,
See,
which is
see,
the
back
one
in the day, we didn't have phones to take to guys.
you just like my guide leaders. Stop being
Yeah.
old. So you've got the same sort of polo top, except that's got a little tab, and you could put like a badge tab on there. And so, because if you have a promise badge, which is a little metal badge,
Yes.
and that's got the trefoil on it, and then you get it when you make your promise, which we'll get onto later. But
Because the
on that little
promise
badge
has
tab,
changed.
oh yeah, we're not doing the current promise. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that at all. Can I be political on the podcast?
Yes.
Not my king.
No.
Anyway, so you
Oh,
can have.
that wasn't the change I was thinking of. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure it's changed before that, but I wouldn't remember. So, but
I
I
did
also always
the I
forget
did
when I
the
say it
old
anyway.
promise.
Can you remember it?
Yes.
Do it.
Oh dear.
I'll initiate you back into guides.
Well, you
I
you do
haven't got.
you do your thing with your fingers, don't you? You have your
You
three
do a
middle
salute,
fingers.
yes.
Yeah, and then it's I promise that I will do my best to love my God, to serve my queen and my country, to help other people, and to keep the brownie guide law. And
Yeah,
that
it's
was the
pretty
one I
much
did for brownies.
pretty much that. And when you go to
It's very
guides, you do the
similar, except
brownies, and
for
then
they
ranges.
got rid of the thing about God. I think, didn't they?
Yeah.
So when
Wait.
I say I did the old promise, I'm like two changes back.
I promise to do my best, to be true to myself, and develop my beliefs, to serve the Queen and my community, to help other people, and to keep the brownie guide law. Yeah,
That's
it's just my
very
belief.
different.
Nice and inclusive. We all have beliefs.
Yeah. Good change,
But
I think.
yeah,
It's
good
not quite
change.
as catchy, but
It's when it goes from brownie guide law to just guide law. It's
yeah.
less. I don't like that. There was
The
not a great
syllables
change.
don't work.
It's like I know I'm a ranger. I know I haven't been a brownie in like 7 years, but it's still the brownie guide law. Okay, I don't know what the guide law is. I did know it. We didn't really say it, so it doesn't matter. But yeah,
We
rangers, you
got
got
off
your little badge
topic.
tab. Back to the badge tab. You got your promise badge, and you can have your patrol badge. I'm in dragons. It's a cool badge. I was in hedgehogs when I was a brownie, and then in guides
Ah,
I was a few. I think I was a penguin, and then there was a dolphin, and then we didn't have patrols for a bit because it was like past post lockdown, and
yeah.
really it was we
I was a
dipped then.
badger, I think.
Good badges are good. Now
Yeah.
we've got now the rangers we got to choose because there are three of us, so we're very small. So we have the dragon, and the guides will have really traditional ones. It's pixies, imps, and it's either elves, or maybe gnomes, or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have the best badge though. Sorry, guys. I think it's the pixie one. It's this like inhuman little twig green guy in front of this, but it's only a silhouette, so you're just sort of mildly terrified. And it's standing like think of a crab, but you're facing someone. I'm doing this to myself on TV, and I think I've lost my mind.
Oh god.
And what else have I got on my badge tab? I've got a little black ribbon. We all got little black ribbons for the Queen. That was just an our unit thing. I think some other units did different things. Some people just went, "What have you got on your thing?" I'm like, "It's for the Queen." Oh,
Okay.
like, I'm not weird, guys. It's really thrown. I need to pink it or something. And then you can have you get a badge when you're a leader. I think you also get one when you're a young leader to show you've done the qualification, so that can go on there. I haven't done that yet. You can get when you go, you can get so guides of camps, and you can get a permit to take yourself and some rangers. And then when you're a leader, a whole unit of the camp, I think you get a badge for that. I will be doing that this summer. Fingers crossed, if I can find anywhere. There are no good places around here that do not require you to be 18, and it's like, no, no, I don't have any responsible adults with me. That's the point.
Aw.
Back to that, I'll find it. It's okay. The hall that I wanted to go to, I then went to, and it was awful. It leaked in the kitchen right where you were cooking the food. There were no knives, like kitchen knives. And one of the toilets you'd flush, and then it would just drip. I kid you not, the entire night. And then the next morning, I woke up, and it's like, How is this hall this broken?
Oof.
I was gonna pay good money to sleep in here.
Yeah,
We've
don't
lost my
don't do
business.
that.
Don't do that, God. We was just cutting like carrots, and it just drips. And then the leader just sort of looks long sufferingly up in the ceiling, like, I'm gonna send the complaint in.
As you should.
But anyway, back to badge tabs, and what I've got a little teddy bear badge, which I got when I went to Foxley, which is one of the activity centres, and that all the rangers we have and our unit bear has. I think it's a good time to talk about unit bears now because we have Boris
Yes.
and Solly, and I love them very much. So Boris is the guide's bear, and we got him when this was when I was a guide, so back before literally any of the other guides currently not existed, been in guides. It was quite a while ago, pre-COVID. We went to London on a trip, and we stayed in Iconday, which is the guiding headquarters in London, which is a lot more expensive than it sounds. There's a gift shop, and then you go underneath. We slept on the floor. I'm not complaining, it was a clean floor, but you would sort of thought guiding headquarters would be really fancy. They had a kitchen. We didn't cook anything in it. We had chocolate brioche for breakfast, though. It was a good chocolate brioche. That's on Buckingham Street.
Yeah.
Street in London, that one, yeah. And also, this is new. There is now a statue of Georgina and the Dragon, which is like St. George and the Dragon, but it's a girl guide. I think she's got a backpack, or maybe she's got a guiding top with like lots of badges on them, and she's slaying the dragon, which is gender stereotypes.
Oh, no. I need to see this statue now. That sounds so cool.
It is a cool. You can Google it. They didn't like. It's a full metal statue. It's sick. Yeah. That was a lovely bit of news to wake up to. I must admit. Go Georgina.
Yeah.
And when you're a leader, that's uniform. You've got like a hoodie. I don't know. I think it downgrades for leaders. Rangers is when it peaks. And that's uniform. That's uniform.
Yes.
What should we talk about next? I did plan this 2 months ago, but I can't be bothered to get my notebook out, so now we're just going with whatever I've got around me. Let's do guiding history, because my iPad's about to run out of charge. So, we start with the Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts come first. In 1907, it's Lord Robert Baden-Powell. Go him.
Yes.
He organised the
Well,
first.
no.
No,
He
he's a
was.
cool guy. Was he not a cool guy? Because I'm not very He was.
Do you want me to find the bit that I wrote about him in my dissertation?
Lord Robert Baden-Powell, who was a cool guy in some respects and not in others, organised the first scout camp in the UK. This is me reading just from the WAG's site, but I'm going to add some own knowledge here. It was on Brownsea Island. I forgot to talk about the second unit there. Solly is the second unit there. Solly is the Rangers. Boris is the guides. We got Boris in the shop. Was named after Boris Johnson, which may have aged poorly, but we're just sticking to it now.
Yes, just a little bit.
It's fine. It's iconic. Solly is the Rangers bear. His name comes from. They said Spanish for sun, which I mean Solly isn't Spanish for sun, but like it comes from soul, so we're gonna go with that tracks. And I think they got him when they went to Mexico, which we will get onto because that's a big section. And Solly is very well travelled. Solly is older than Boris. He's got a necker thing. It's not really a necker, it's Mexican. I can't remember what the actual thing called, but it looks like a necker and it's got some fun patterns on it that look traditional, but I don't really know from where. But from Mexico, he's got some badges from wherever he's been. I think he's been to all the world centers. Don't quote me on that, but I think he's been to which the world centers will get onto in a minute because now we're talking about history. So the first scout camp in Brownsea Island, where Solly has been, and then the year later, he published Scouting for Boys, which apparently was like a best-selling book in the 20th century, so go publishing. I said apparently, and then I scrolled down and it was just the did you know fact, so. Then in 1909, this is where girl guiding starts, because there is a rally in Crystal Palace and we gate crash it and we're like, we want to be a part of this, we want something for girls. So Baden-Powell's like, yeah, alright, I'll do that. And in 1910, him and his sister, Agnes, make the thing. I did jazz hands and you can't see them. But even before that, like the foundation, like a big association, there were guides in Australia, Canada, Denmark, Finland, New Zealand, and South Africa. And if you want to know more about this, you can look on the WAG site because this is where I'm reading it from. I did a guiding history badge like a month ago and I remember none of it. I remember the war stuff actually. We can get onto that. That's not in here. I can prove I actually know things about the thing I said I would talk for like hours about. And then like 1912, you guys get it. Actually, no, I say you guys. The Americans get it.
You've just revealed to the world my deepest, darkest secret, which is that I was not born in the UK.
It's fine, you know. I bring out the best in people.
You do.
And then 1926, we'll skip some stuff. World Thinking Day was launched at the 4th International Conference, which was just when guides meet together to chat or something. But World Thinking Day is important. It is on February the 22nd. I think. No, It is. 22nd of February. That's when World Thinking Day is. And then it's when we all think about our fellow sisters and girl guiding. It's very much what it says on the tin, but it's a big deal. Everyone over the world celebrates it. And I always get a badge for it. What have I got? 2019, 2020. Wait, did I have 2021? Did I not get it for 2021? Oh, that was COVID, probably. 2020.
Yeah,
I
probably.
got it for 2023. So we skipped a couple years, but it's okay. I must say it downgraded. They used to be circles, and it was that I got one, and it's the weird rectangle. And so I did just think, where am I supposed to put this on my camp blanket? But it's okay. It's there. It fits. What did we do for World Thinking Day? We went to Foxleys, which I've mentioned before. It's one of the big activity centres. There are 5, I believe. So Foxleys is in the New Forest. So that's our one for Southwest England. And it's massive. It's like loads of fields. It's lovely there. They've got this big old house that you can stay in, and the Princess Margaret Lodge that you can stay in. They've got all of these activities. We went there. We all thought it was going to be like, oh, other units will be there. You know, I can meet other rangers and we know they exist. No, it was just us. Everyone else cancelled.
Oof.
So it's fine. We didn't need them. So the theme was our thriving future. I wrote that off the badge. So it was all about being like a planet protector. And they sort of had this story going on about some girl who killed all the forests by asking too much from the magic wishing tree. They really sped through the story. I don't remember what her name was, but then it was all about, we're gonna bring the tree back and the forest back, and so all the animals don't like die. So we did this game where you had like sticks, stones, and leaves, and you rolled dice to get it. But then if you got a 5 or a 6, there was an earthquake, so you stood up and had a little dance. I think you were just supposed to stand up and sort of wobble around like you were in an earthquake, but we sort of just started dancing. It's like, woo, we're losing everything! Let's have a party! So never say that guides is fun. We even make natural disasters enjoyable. And we did a scavenger hunt. We had to find something with the starts with the letter or the letter of the alphabet. I was very good at that. I was very good. I got vegetation for V, which I was quite proud of because I had some weird leafy stuff and I didn't know what it was called. And then we also did the crate challenge. I've got a badge for that. That was really funny.
Love the crate challenge.
Tiny crates, and so it's fine for like the little guys. So we did the 2x1 stack. Who, they were all right, and then it was me and the other ranger, and so you've got my like size 4s of her size 8s, and the first time I've got my arms around her like a koala, like don't you dare drop me. So she's just dragging me up. And then the second time we've got a strategy planned, and just she won't stop laughing. And so I just yell, like, pull yourself together, woman! So we beat our record. I think I wrote that on the back of, we did these little plant pots. I wrote it on one side of that because I thought it was an important memory.
Yes, it is. So but yeah, I love the crate challenge. I especially love making the 16-year-olds on NCS who are scared of heights do the crate challenge.
I was scared of heights. They made us go like first, and I turned to Ella like, I'm scared of heights. And she's like, oh, are you? Yeah, this will be fun. It was actually alright. I wasn't scared of heights. I was scared of falling into my death because I was on some spindly crates. The heights were fine. We didn't
Yeah,
actually make it
well,
up that high.
it's fine.
And then,
You'd survive.
yeah, the other day I went down this massive zip wire with guides, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Guides is about slowly overcoming my fear of heights. This started in
Yes.
brownies.
I feel like your guides and brownies and rangers and whatever do a lot more stuff than what mine did.
Probably.
We didn't get to go on camp at all.
That's sad. Camp is the best bit about being a guide.
We
I
were
love
meant to go on camp, and then it got cancelled. I can't remember why. And then we
If it was
just
because
never
of the
did it.
weather, then I'm sorry, but your leaders were not leaders. If it we our camp, we just did an outdoor camp. It was like it's going to be chucking it down all weekend, guys. It was still going. We went there and it was glorious, but we thought it was going to be chucking it down.
Well, ours was an indoor place, I think. Please remember that this was like over 10 years ago.
No, I think you should be able to record all of it perfectly. What
I
is this
remember
attitude?
visiting the place before we were meant to go, so that like the parents would know where they were dropping us off and stuff.
Always a good idea.
But yeah, I think it was like a sort of a dormitory building type situation, but we never ended up going, and I don't remember why. So
I am
we did
so
not
sorry.
get a camp when we were at Brownies, and I didn't go to guides. So
We had a brownie sleepover. It was not
aw,
very good. I would think I was ill during it, but
oof.
like I didn't really know, so I still insisted on going. But then I was just mostly miserable and they wouldn't let me go home. And then
Poor
because it was just
baby.
one night, and I was sleeping next to this girl, and the entire night she kept rolling over onto me, and I
Oh.
was small, and she was a lot bigger than me, and even when I was like elbowing her with my like tiny might, she kept doing it and wouldn't wake up, and so I was just there like can't breathe because when I said she rolled on top of me, she would just roll, and then I'd just be there like help, I'm being flattened. I was like 7 and ill. I'm just like, ugh.
Oh no.
But everything
Um,
improved once I got the guides.
yeah, but yeah, we didn't get a camp. We did get a centenary celebration, I think.
Yes, that was
Um, I don't know if it was
big
actually like
brownie
the
birthday.
full 100-year centenary or if it was like a 75 years or something. I don't remember,
Probably
but
not, considering that was in 2010.
hmm,
That was in 2010. Were you a brownie in 2010?
possibly.
I was.
It would have been
I
like
can't say what I was. That's just completely doxing myself.
um
I was born. I promise.
yeah, when do you finish brownies?
When you're
2010. 2010 was the
10,
year
11.
before I started secondary school. So
Okay,
I
well,
was possibly like just about to age out. That would
oh,
have been the
okay.
year I turned 11.
I love how I'm like, I can't tell you how old I am. You're just like this. Let you can do the maths, guys. Who needs
But
internet
yeah,
saving
so
when we have
I
calculators?
think I was just about to age out of brownies, so they dragged all the older ones along to like make sure the younger ones didn't get into shenanigans.
Fair enough. But the big brownie birthday. I
Yeah,
remember because I think I joined at some point. Maybe I think that was a different thing actually. I joined and they'd just done that, so that might have been like 100 years of that unit perhaps, or like of that unit celebration. But
I
no, that
don't
was the
know.
thing. 2010, the uniform changed for a little bit so we could celebrate, and then everyone had like you could have like a pink tutu.
So I have acquired my second sash. I had two because I ran out of room on the first one.
I think I went onto the back of mine.
Well, I did both sides of mine and then ran out of room.
Damn, you were committed. I think I've got
Yep.
to my I still haven't sewn on, and I'm thinking, do I sew them onto my guides one? I
But yeah,
could.
I was at the 2010 centenary.
Fun times. In Bath, they did a big masquerade ball for it. That was
Nice.
a whole jolly. I think next year, I think it's 50 years, my guide unit. And I've
Nice.
been told that I will be helping with the celebrations.
My brownie unit doesn't exist anymore, I don't think.
Oh, that's
No,
sad.
to be fair, we're not a very big village, and there were two brownie units.
That's a lot of brownie units in a
And I
small
don't
village.
know
If you've got a whole
why,
two.
so I think mine doesn't exist anymore, and they just have the one, which makes a
Oh,
lot
did
more
they
sense.
merge?
But
We
yeah,
had
this is
two brownie
my
units, one on
second
Monday, one on
sash,
Thursday.
and I had already, by the time I left, or like by the time I went to the centenary, I had already filled the first side of it. So my centenary badge is sewn on the back of it.
Wait, did you have? No, you would have as well. Do you have the yellow interest badges in the little diamond or the
Yes,
square?
yeah.
Yes, I had those.
I have the
And
diamond
then they
interest
changed
badges.
them, and I don't like it.
I have two friend to animals badges
Oh,
on one
I've
sash.
got.
But the
Do I
reason
have
why
the
I
friends
know this is my
one?
second sash and not my first one is because my first ever brownie badge was the horse riding one.
I'm not
No
surprised.
surprises there.
Who is
Um,
surprised? I think they should have just awarded that
and
to
that one
my
is
first
not on
for
this
you.
sash, so that's how I know that's my second one. Is my first one anywhere? Is it in this bag? No, there is a random medal in there, but that's it. I don't know where my first one went. It's somewhere, but that one was filled like front and back, and we started like trying to fit the badges in the gaps. So
I think
another one was needed.
the badge I have the most memory of doing is my hostess badge, and I'm just
Yeah,
going to Google to see if it's still a thing.
I have the hostess badge.
Because it was like whenever someone else was making their promise, you'd invite all the parents in, and then they'd have like
Yeah,
one or two brownies doing their hostess badges, and you'd like make a flower decoration and like make a cake, I think, and make tea.
yeah. I have two friend to animals badges. I have a hostess badge, a world issues badge, which I think was something to do with the environment and recycling, and a cooking badge. So
What do
I
I
think I
off the
must have
top of my
changed
head?
groups at some point because I remember being a badger, but I've got a red squirrel badge.
I know I remember my first day badge as well. I think I've still got the certificate from doing that. We did
Yes,
lots
I
of
had a
like CPR.
first aid badge. I think I have a sign language badge or something because we had a guide dog come in and someone teach us like all the sign language stuff. So if there's something to do with disability, I have that badge. Um,
Do they don't have the hostess badge anymore? I mean,
do they not?
I can sort of see why. I guess it's probably not very like girl power. But it was like they still have dancing. I have my dancer badge. I've got my
I
rice
don't
badge.
think I have my dance badge because I'm
I'm trying
bad
to
at
think. Well,
dancing.
I found a bunch in my music box for some reason. So the guide ones now are like little squares, and then the ranger ones are little circles. I actually love the size though because they're so good for filling up small spaces on my blanket.
Yeah,
But they're so different. It spooks me honestly.
they're really different. I don't like it.
No, because they
Yes.
changed just as I was becoming a guide. So I did not get to do the first guide badges, which is honestly okay because it's fine. At least I didn't
Yeah.
change in the middle of brownies. I've been really confused.
I think if I didn't have the craft badge at some point, that like I must have it because that was all we did at Brownies was crafts.
Oh yeah, I definitely have the craft badge. I couldn't tell you what I did for it. I just know I've definitely got it.
Oh yeah, I bet disability awareness is the one we had with the guide dog. Finding your way. I think I probably had that one.
I got
First
myself
aid.
whenever you go to camp. Actually, they had a really cheap badge shop there, but they had some of the old ones, and I got this sort of old looking like map finder one because we got lost on the way there.
Well, to be fair, we got lost on our DV practice expedition, so
I just thought it was incredibly ironic. And they had two types. So I've got one that's on my blanket now, and I've got one that I'm keeping away for badge swaps when you go international. So when you go international and you meet like other guides or scouts, you can like swap badges, and it's a really common thing. And then you get cool ones from
ah,
like, other places. And so I'm just starting my collection because the good ones, you get good swaps and you've got a good story because then people want your badge. Because I
yeah,
always look when they've at badge shops and they've got like the little like here are some random badges, and most of them are like old like event ones because obviously it's like there's no point, so they just sound cheap. So I'm like, I want one that I can put my own story to. And also that didn't cost me a pound, it cost me like 10 pence. So I'm like, yes, I'll have that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I've forgotten what I started talking about, so I'm just going to go through my guide blanket now.
Yes. Do it.
Okay, we're going to start with we'll start in one corner and just go down because I think it's mostly in chronological order. So I have my Mary's Magic movie screening badge. And so what some cinemas do, and this is across the UK, is that for certain films they'll have a special showing just for like guiding, and the tickets will be super cheap. I think it was like £6. And it's
Yeah.
always like a big fancy cinema, which is pretty good. And you get a very shiny badge. And this was to see Mary Poppins 2. And you'd think it'd be a massive trip. Only three of us went. So it's a very unique badge to have in my unit because not many of us went.
Yeah.
I recently have another one similar to that for Matilda. I was also the only ranger to go, but it's okay because then all the guys went. That was really fun. They're really fancy because they've got like a metallic border. And they're like little star details. It's just very fancy. I've got a Future Girl badge, which they still are doing this program on Future Girl. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. I can't remember what I know we did activities, but I could not tell you what they are. I think it's just about being innovative and like go girls. I don't know. It's probably deeper than that. I'm sure it's got actual meaning. It's a cool badge. It's a girl with blue hair in a spacesuit and some shiny stars. And then they've got and now it's on to the world thinking their badges. So I've got 2019, 2020, and they're like the first one's a world with I think like latitude and longitude lines around it. I don't know. And the second one is like hands. And I've seen that my COVID ones there, so we're gonna go back down now. So I've got ones from Summermead. So Summermead was one of the residential places you could go to that's like owned by Girl Guiding, and it was in Wedmore, which is a place in Somerset. I realize it's gonna have no meaning to you. It exists. Actually, it doesn't exist anymore. Summermead, not Wedmore. Wedmore still exists. Summermead had rots in the floor. They were like, we're
Oh.
just selling it and letting all the money into the ground because it's too expensive to replace, which is quite sad, but it's good that we have residential grants now. But it was
Yeah.
nice. It had like a big hut thing, which was you go and they had bunk beds. It was fun. That was my first camp. It was a fantasy camp. I dressed up as a butterfly spirit thing,
Ah.
and then the radiator broke.
Ah.
Not directly as a consequence of me being a butterfly spirit thing. This was in the other room. This was in like the older girls' room. The radiator broke, spewing water everywhere. Oh, wonderful first camp memory. So at the end of it, they were like, "Oh, Lucy, can you like take the bin bag outside?" And I was like, "Sure." And I think I think it was the night before, we'd had the most awful like it was like I think there was chicken. It was like chicken, but there was rice and there was all these vegetables, but it was really disgusting.
Yeah.
I sounded incredibly weird then. Really disgusting because all the vegetables, whoever chopped them, I had a bit of onion. Like I realized I can't just say this big and show you like a massive bit of onion that was way too big to eat, and no one enjoyed it, so most of it got thrown away. And just as I'm carrying this massive bag full of gross food waste to the door, it splits, and there is
Oh.
food everywhere. And I am trying to put it back in the bag with my bare hands and carry it out. So now I am never bringing out the bins again. I have learned my lesson.
No.
No, someone else can do it. It was not nice. And it's like the end. I'm like right in the doorway. Everyone needs to leave, and I'm here like, me please.
Oh no.
So be warned when carrying large. Actually, no, just chop your onions to the right size, and this wouldn't have happened.
Or just
Stronger bin bags.
yeah.
Stronger bin bags. Don't waste food, guys. Little guys have to pay for it, and it's all over the floor.
Oh god. That would have
And then
killed
for
me.
my camp, we were up or down. I don't know actually. No, we went to Barrett St James, which is actually an official activity centre. It's on their website and everything. And I've got a couple like nice big hexagon ones, like bring it Barrett. It is in Wiltshire South. Should I put on the badge? That was a Easter camp. I don't think
Ah,
we dressed up for that one. What happened at that camp? Let me think. That one we won in bunk beds. So it was like one big hall, and there was some mattresses out, so you all slept on the floor together. There was this big hill we all rode down on. We went on a hike. We got lost. Um, hmm. What else happened at Barrack the first time? I went there again as a second or Easter camp, October camp. That was fun. That was ancient Egypt themed. I have a really cool badge for that. But
ooh.
yeah, I got an extra badge called for that says "Girls do it better" because I was super helpful.
Girls do
That was fun.
indeed do it better.
So
Doesn't matter
yeah,
what it is.
yeah, we don't really know what it is. Cleaning up, perhaps. That's probably the best thing to say.
Yeah. Girls
I
just
don't
do
know
everything better. It doesn't
everything,
matter.
especially me.
You're just perfect.
Oh, thank you. I think this is a good time to talk about the structure of guide camps, or at least guide camps that I go on.
Yes.
So you will go down. You have to arrive and leave in uniform. That's important. It's good actually, it means you don't have to pack any clothes. So you'll be split into camp patrols, and there'll be 3 tasks. On an indoor one, there's cooks, washing up people, and then hygiene, which is just mopping the floors and cleaning the loos. I got out of that on my not my last camp, my camp. Actually, I got that on both camp certain camps. The first
Oh,
one
lucky.
was because I put the gloves on, the rubber gloves, and I was like, are my hands supposed to feel like they're burning? So I just got to supervise. That was great. And then the outdoor one, we had a camp toilet for like in the night, so you weren't because it was actually probably quite dangerous to go to the loo in the middle of the night because there was this big sort of like wild path you had to track up, and I wouldn't
Yeah.
trust a 10-year-old in the dark. So we had a little toilet tent and a little loo, and you had to empty that because you were just going in a bucket.
Ew.
I've been told it was incredibly disgusting. And I did not have to do that because they were like, it was like pack up day and we were supposed to do it, and they were like, oh, you patrol, can you actually just pack up that tent because I'm pretty sure you practice with it and we don't want to do it. And I was like, absolutely yes. So yeah, that's hygiene. So yeah, an indoor camp, so you've got cooking, washing up. There is so much washing up on camp
Oh, of course.
because there's like 18 people going, and that's like 18 plates, 18 bowls, 18 knives, forks, spoons, and there's only like 5 or 6 of you doing it, so it just take a while. Always be the dryer, that's all I'm saying. Always be the
Yeah.
dryer. And there's always like the sort of things you eat as like Spanish chicken and rice, or like pasta, big
Yeah.
things you can cook in big pots. And so then the rice pan. God, I hate the rice pan so much. It all sticks to the bottom, and you're gonna be scraping off all of this. Just no rice pans for me. Thank you very much.
No.
And always eggy bread. Eggy bread is a must in the morning.
Ah, eggy
It's always
bread.
eggy bread is always eggy bread one morning and bacon butties the second, or sometimes the other way around. But yeah, I learned to cook eggy bread from guides, and I always recommend it. I sometimes have it at home, probably not as much because I can't. Sometimes I just can't be bothered to get the pan out. But absolutely, eggy bread. Wait, are people going to be listening who don't know what eggy bread is?
Possibly. It
I think
shouldn't
I said the
be.
word eggy too many times. So essentially, you have your frying pan, you have a bowl with some eggs in it that you've cracked, obviously, and you have your bread. You cut it
Obviously.
up into triangles. Got to be triangles when it's eggy bread. We'll fight people on this. You dip it in the egg, get it all nice and disgusting. You put it in the pan, which is on, and it all sizzles, and you flip it, and then it's essentially egg coated in scrambled egg, bread coated in scrambled egg. That is egg bread, and it is delicious. And even when you burn it, you just put loads and loads of tomato sauce on it, and it's fine. So yeah, eggy bread is good.
Eggy
Spanish
bread is
chicken
brilliant.
is also. I don't think it's a guiding tradition. It's just a my guide's tradition. And I recently cracked the recipe for it. I've never actually made the Spanish chicken. The first time I had it, they made it for us. Like we got there and they were like, "We've made tea," and the most recent one, I chopped up the chicken because they could trust me with a knife, and then they'd shoot me
Ooh.
off. So then the other ones could do it, like chop up the vegetables. So it is. This is my Spanish chicken recipe. I've actually written it on a card. So I'm making a little recipe book as part of like a bunch of award things. So let me find it. Spanish chicken. This makes 6. I didn't think it would. I thought it would make like 3 or 4. It makes at least 6. So, and this is quite fancy. You don't need to include all of this, but you do need 2 tin tomatoes, 2 onions, 2 peppers. I don't know if there are carrots in it, but I added 2 carrots. Some garlic, although they say that you shouldn't, or that you don't need to have garlic and onion because they just cancel each other out.
That's
But
a
I'm
lie.
Italian, so for good luck, two things of garlic, 1 tin of sweet corn. You could probably put more sweet corn in. I had to do this sweet corn separate because my dad doesn't like sweet corn, so I can't really tell you the true amount of sweet corn. And
No.
then we also had, because my mum just sort of has chorizo a lot in, like, just in the fridge, half chorizo sausage, which I always recommend. And then you want 3 cups. I don't know what size the cups are. We just have a rice cup, long grain rice, and then some chicken. I haven't written down
Some
how much
chicken.
chicken you need. I think it was like, when you go to Tesco or Morrison's and you get one of those like chicken bits. I just put a whole one of those in there. So some chicken, 350 grams maybe. I think on camp for like 15 people and 20 people, I had 4 big chicken breasts that I chopped up into like cubes, which are probably about, if you take 2 fingers and then you take another 2 fingers and you put your 1 pair of fingers at like your first knuckle, that's about how big the chicken should be. Because I
Okay.
can't just gesture and be like, yeah, not that big. So that's how big the
Centimeter
chicken should be.
cubes
So
ish.
no bigger than that.
Inch cubes ish.
Yeah, yeah. And so step 1, chicken and onion and garlic in the pan for like 5 minutes or until all the chicken's like white on the outside.
Yeah.
Recipes always say until the chicken is brown, but it never goes brown, it just goes white. Then 2, you add your tomatoes and your peppers and your carrots and your chorizo, sweet corn. Oh, everything should be like diced, by the way. And apart from garlic, which you should crush
Yes.
because it's satisfying. I realized I didn't add, I know recipes are like onion diced. I didn't write that. I was just 2 onion. So for all you know, you could just be chucking a whole onion in there like raw.
This is like those I keep seeing videos of teachers, I think in the States, getting their classes to give trying to teach them how to write instructions by doing exactly what they say, like taking it completely literally. And it'll be like, put the peanut butter on the bread. So they pick up the whole jar of peanut butter and put the jar on on the bread.
That is what my recipes are telling you to do. Take both onions, don't do anything to them, just chuck them in. take the unspecified grams. Maybe just take the chicken. You don't even, it's not even a dead chicken, it's a live chicken. Just put it in the pan. I haven't even specified the turn the pan on. It's just you put it into pan for 5 minutes until the chicken's gone like white from fear. So after you've got all of your ingredients in the pan, not the rice is separate. You boil it till the tomatoes are spitting at you like they hate you, and then you cover it and you simmer it for like 15 minutes or until the rice is ready. I for no earlier. I forgot. So the last time I made it, which was like a couple days ago, I did text you this. I forgot to do the rice, and I just yelled, "Gosh, the rice!" He's like, "Is it burning?" No, it's still in the pantry. So at the same time that you're cooking, all your lovely Spanish chicken, it needs a bed. It's a posh thing. It doesn't sleep on the floor. You get your big pan, your rice. I have realized I'm supposed to be talking about guiding, and I'm just going to tell people how to cook rice now. This is how to cook rice if you don't know how to cook rice. You take your long grain white rice, which is like, it doesn't look white when you cook it. It looks like yellow. and it's going to become a lot more. You only need like 75 grams per person, and you're not going to believe it, but you need to believe it, because otherwise you're going to do what I very nearly almost did and have like enough Spanish chicken for like a couple meals, and then you're going to have enough rice for a whole month for a starving army. So
Okay,
you don't need that
but
much rice.
consider if you do that much rice, you don't need to cook for a while.
True. So don't cook too much rice, folks at home.
Unless
Or
you're living on your own with no parental supervision, in which case cook as much rice as you want. Don't let anyone stop you.
even with parental supervision, just be prepared to probably be judged. I mean, you'll get through the rice quicker, I guess.
Yeah.
So what you want to have some water and you put it in. You kind of want enough to know that you're gonna cover the rice, but no one really knows how much that is. You just keep going until you make sure that you're not going to drown the stuff. Only lightly drowning. We only want to lightly kill our rice. And then you're gonna boil it, and then you're gonna chuck all your rice in. And don't worry, people who are like me and are terrified of putting things in boiling pans of water, in case it all splashes up on them. If you hold it in front of you, and then you tip it, it'll go nice and slowly in the pan, and you won't get your fingers burnt off, because you need those for eating. Using to eat your Spanish chicken with. I think I just implied that everyone's fingers are snacks. And then you cover it with a pot and you cook it for 15 minutes, and then bam, your rice and your Spanish chicken are ready at the same time, and then you eat it together, and then you have a lovely meal. You're welcome. When you go to Guy Camp, all you do is eat.
Yeah. I
You
can
have
imagine.
breakfast, 11s, lunch, 3s, tea, and then campfire snack.
You're just like hobbits, aren't you? Do
Pretty
you have
much.
second breakfast?
There is always seconds. When I was on the outdoor camp, I ate all of my Spanish chicken, and then the girl next to me who didn't want any of hers, or like the rest of hers because she was full, gave me the rest of hers. So I just ate 2 bowls, and I think I still went back for more. I don't really know what happens to me when I'm on camp. I'm just a bottomless pit, and I'm like, yes, I have no food waste here. I will eat everything.
Okay, but like if you're being really active and doing loads of stuff, then you do eat more food.
Yeah, so it's
So
fine. I
because
don't know.
you need
Yeah,
the energy.
I need the energy. They kept trying to give me lots of extra food, which is partially because I was the young leader on camp and they wanted to reward my amazingness of being like, yeah, I'll chop chicken. I do actually quite enjoy chopping chicken. You don't really need to reward me for this. I'm enjoying myself completely. And the fact it's like, yeah, she's like twice the size of our like little 10-year-old guy. She probably needs more food. I got an extra half a jack of potato.
Ooh.
That was nice. They were nice jack of potatoes. We were all cooking on an open fire at camp. It was
Wow.
I love cooking on an open fire. We had a big one. So you have 2 massive bits of concrete. This was there for us when we came. That are about like, I don't know, a bit smaller than my arm span, which I realise is a reference for none of you. I'm quite short, so you can just sort of imagine, I don't know, like a meter and a little bit.
Yeah.
That's smaller than my arm span. I'm not that short. And then in the middle you have all your wood. You build up. You have sort of like 3 small fires that you make into a massive one. You put your big grate over, and we had a couple massive pans we cook stuff on. So for the jacket potato, you sort of have like all your jacket potatoes, and you put them in a little circle in front of me. It
Yeah.
looked quite sweet there. And then we had for bacon, we had bacon for breakfast, bacon butties, and you have each patrol. And patrols, like, I haven't actually said what patrol is. So you have patrols in your normal units, and it's like 5 or 6 of you, and you're just like a little team. And in brownies, they're called sixes. Yeah, they're
Yes.
called sixes. I thought they could, and then your leader for brownies is a sixer, and then you're
Yeah.
a seconder, and it's usually like the oldest and like the second oldest. And then
Yeah, I
in
was a
bride, you have
sixer very, very
the leader,
quickly in
which are a
brownies
seconder.
because I am always the oldest in any group of kids, basically.
They do it like oldest slash most experienced,
Yeah.
and then so on camp you've got that. So that's patrols. So each patrol have their own little fire, and what you have 4 cement bricks, a metal plate, and a grate. So you have 2 cement bricks, and the metal plate goes in between them, and there's a little like bow, like a dip, in the middle that you build your little fire on, and you put 2 more cement bricks, and then your like grate thing on top, and then that's where you cook all your bacon. And I was very proud of that bacon. I did cook all the bacon. I had one girl who was helping like feed the fire and also would tell me if all the bacon was cooked because I didn't trust it. And then I was just there, the pan, and bacon.
To be fair, bacon is sometimes difficult because like you have to be really careful with pork generally because that can give you food poisoning.
So I was like, I don't want to give all of my patrol food poisoning, but also
Yeah,
like I don't want to burn this all to a crisp. But it was
it's
very
better
good.
to
Oh,
just
we
be
had a bird
careful.
in the garden.
Hmm?
There was a bird in the garden. I'm very
Aw.
easily distracted. I don't know what sort of bird it is. I've just realised, just as I said that this is recording and that birds. I think that's a new one. Anyway, ignoring the birds. Yeah, tips for cooking on an open fire. Bring sunglasses because my eyes were streaming, and
Yeah,
I kept putting my sunglasses on. Obviously, tie your hair back. That's just fire safety. Or
that is
don't.
indeed fire
It'd be quite
safety.
funny. And then also you need like twice the amount of oil. But yeah, those are Lucy's 3 top tips for cooking on an open fire. Sunglasses, hair, and oil.
Yes.
It's very smoky. You'd think that like I thought that being around the massive like campfire at like the end of the day would be what make all my clothes stink. No, it was in the morning. As I'm like slaving, like fully bent over this pan with all the smoke in my face and my hair and my coat. I think my coat's still airing and I came back on Monday. It just stinks of campfire. And
Yeah,
that's how you
that
cook over an
happens.
open fire. The pans go so black, and we had to do all the washing up. When you're on an outdoor camp, you make these washing up stands. So you have like 4 big broom handles that you hammer into the ground. And you have all these bamboo sticks. So you've got 2 long bits on either side, like the long sides, and you lash them there. And then you attach the bamboo to make your draining board with square lashing, which I'm now going to try to explain without using a diagram or having anything in front of me so I can like talk it through. So you've got your 2 long bits that are there. You take one bit, you put it on. By the side of that, you're going to make a knot with your string. So you're going to get a long bit of string and fold it in 2. So you've got equal bits. And then
Yeah.
you're going to go, how are you doing this? Yeah. So you're going to go over string and you're going to cross them under and pull tight. And on the other side, someone else is going to be doing the same thing. So then you're on a sort of on a roll. And then you keep doing that and you keep doing that, you keep doing that. And then you leave a space at the end. And then how it works is you have your washing up bowl and it like traps it in there. The washing up bowls still do fall through. They fell through a lot. I need to not use people's names because it's like safeguarding. Poor guide. All over, all over her wellies and her waterproof trousers. Because her waterproof trousers were tucked into her wellies, they all went down her wellies still. So just be careful. I just don't
Yes.
even bother to be careful. It's gonna happen anyway. Wear your waterproof trousers over the top of your wellies. Do that. Then you'll be fine. Wear waterproof trousers responsibly.
Yes.
What else do we make? Oh yeah, back to the pans. So you put the pan in, and then you start scraping, and you get like a tiny bit off, and then you would realize this pan was silver. This pitch black, like completely black pan was silver. So you start scrubbing for a long time. The sponges go black. There's a lovely picture on the guiding Facebook from camp of one of our guides just holding up the sponge and it's just completely black.
Oh,
Be
I can
warned.
imagine.
Pack your oldest tea towels. Because you dry it and you think, oh, we've gotten all the stuff off now, and it just comes away like smeared. Like, never
Yeah.
mind. Let's just keep going. Other things we made, because when you're on outdoor camp, you do lots of like little things. We tried to make, I think they wanted to do quite a traditional one. So we also had these little like tripod things that you put like a little like a little round bowl in, and you could wash your face and your hands. And it'd be like in the morning, and you would not wash your face in that because the water was ice cold. You would go to the toilet block, but they were good for washing your hands in. So you've got 3 broom handles, and they're just sort of like tied in the middle. You just do lots of like wrapping it around, sort of like figures of 8, except there's 3 of them, and so they're nice and strong. And then they just fold out. You put your bowl in there. And that brings us on to our next bit of food because I've just remembered this is the food section. What else did we have? We made spaghetti bolognese. I wasn't involved in making that, so I can't give you the recipe. It was like, I would say though that whoever was chopping the carrots were massive, and so it was a bit of a workout.
Carrots are great though.
Carrots are great. I'd like to eat them with little effort though. This is what happens when you let small children like
Impossible.
do your food.
They're meant to be crunchy.
I don't like crunchy carrots. I don't like being able to taste the carrots.
Terrible. We are no longer friends.
No, please. How will I get my life advice now?
You just have to admit that carrots are the best vegetable.
I can't do that.
Why not? It's true.
Peppers.
Peppers are good. But carrots are better.
No. I can't. This is where it ends. Cut the recording. Let's scrap. I am ready to go.
I could do that.
I'm going to talk about the ridiculous amount of cake you eat on camp. You'd think you wouldn't, right? You think you're camping. There's not going to be loads of cake, but all my leaders are amazing. And they all baked a completely separate cake for like each day. So usually you have breakfast, which would be, eggy bread or bacon, or if you're boring, like cereal. Oh, we had pancakes. We had pancakes as well about eggy bread because I think we only had enough eggy bread for like one each. We also did pancakes. That was good. That was quite fun. One of my leaders was much better at the other two, so we had like these like Michelin star pancakes coming out of one pan and like scrambled pancakes coming out of the other, which was incredibly funny. If my leaders end up listening to this, I love the pancakes. You're good leaders. I'm not making fun of the pancakes. I'm just remarking on their scrambledness. Yeah, then 11 says it's just like fruit. We had these really nice biscuits. That was nice. But like just like fruit, juice, lots of squash. You got your lunch, which is like depends on like how bothered. It might just be sandwiches, it might be like jacket potato, depending how busy we are on the day. And then you obviously got your tea. And I have realised this started from me talking about cooking, cleaning, and hygiene. But it's fine because we're still on cooking. Indoor camp is like all the cooks would have to be in the kitchen a lot earlier, which was fine for me because I had this weird thing where I honestly would wake up at like 6 a.m. on every camp, no matter where it was, and I'd always be awake, like super alert, ready to go. But you've always got that one person who you're like dragging out of bed, like, come on, we need to cook the eggy bread. We can't do it without you. Move. So I'm quite glad I was never that person. Yeah, the food is great. We eat lots of food.
Yes.
Do I have more to say about camp? Probably, but I will say it later because I think that's a good badge to get into for that bit. And then I've got my London badges because we went to that London trip. We went on a tour bus. It rained. I'd forgotten my coat. Now, whenever my guide is like, remember to bring a coat, guys, she stares directly at me. I always bring a coat now. So yeah, we went to Icon Zoo, which was the guiding headquarters. We went to some fun stuff. It was good. I remember going to the Tesco to get food for a picnic.
Ah, I love picnics.
Picnics are good. And
picnics
now we've got
great.
My first and actually only 2 interest badges for when I was a guide. It's really bad. I've got my mixology badge and my photography badge, and I have quite good stories for both. So for photography, we were just going. There was a skate park quite close. I said that was there. There still is a skate park quite close to where the place we do guides is. So we went up there. One of my fellow guides got a massive stick that we just took loads of pictures of her with the stick. I think I got holes in my trousers from sliding down the skate park too many times. Mixology was the time we almost poisoned my entire unit.
Uh-oh.
That's the exaggeration, I promise, but we did look them in the eyes and make them drink milk elderflower with like blueberries bobbing on top and call it a cocktail. The other two drinks we had were nice. It was just like various juices, but then we were like, no, we need to have one we called it the White Death. And we made people drink that, and I got a badge for it. So
Interesting.
yeah, never let them say that guiding is safe. And now I've got my event planning badge. This is in no way now historical order, chronological order. We were skipping forward like quite a few years to the time we were like, we'll plan a movie night for the guides, and it went horribly, horribly wrong. So we were like, we have a projector, our guides will still at the projector, we'll play, a Netflix movie. That broke. It wouldn't work for the entire thing. So we just had these bowls of popcorn and all this free food. We were just giving to them, like, there you go, there you go, there you go. I think they quite enjoyed it, but very little actual movie was played. And by the time they finally got the movie set up and we gave them the movie to put in, they just brought some CDs over. It was the wrong film, so we all watched Mary Poppins.
Okay, but Mary Poppins slaps, like,
Mary Poppins
objectively.
slaps, but it was not The Incredibles, and I was very confused for a good like minute before I joined what was going on. I was like, you know what, this is fine. I'm going back in the kitchen.
That's fair.
So that was we recently did a sports night, and that went a lot better. So there is hope
Yeah.
for us all. Just never, ever, ever, ever rely on technology. What's next? Oh, I've got my Mexico badge. I did not
Oh.
really earn this. That makes it sound like I stole it. My guide leader went to Mexico and brought back badges for us all to remember it. When I say guide leader, just know there's like 4 people I could be referring to, and I will not clarify. I will not clarify. It's got a turtle on it with a sombrero on its back because when she was there, they had all these baby turtles, and what you do, you pick up the turtle, you put it in a coconut shell, and you send it out to sea, and then you get rid of all, and then you'd like put your arm right in the nest and dig out all the empty shells. Which was that's what they did. They did other stuff too. They went to we can get onto the world centers now. They went to this is when like years of GCSE Spanish kills me. Arcabaña. I'm gonna call it that. It has a niño on it, so it's probably right. Which is one of the 5 now world centers of girl guiding. So there is Arcabaña in Mexico, Arshale in Switzerland, Sangam in India. I think that's how you say it. Pax Lodge in London, and there's a traveling one in Africa whose name I cannot remember, but that's the new one. I think it's like 10 years old. It's new compared to the others. And world centers are like, I don't know, that's sort of like milestones. My leader's been to all of them, which is quite fun. I want to go to all of them. And a lot of the time I have like international, like maybe jamborees. Like jamborees, like a big meeting of like guides and scouts from all over, and events and stuff, and you can go there. And it's just cool. It's cool. It's like these centers of girl guiding. And I think I should talk about WAGs now because I forgot to talk about WAGs. WAGs stands for World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. So that's WAGs, 3Gs. And it's like the big overarching one. And so all the international stuff will go through there. And so they also control all the world centers, making sure they're all existing. And that's all I know about WAGs at the moment because I have not been international. But we will also get onto that soon, probably when I finish going through the blanket because I don't actually have a badge for that. We've got my remembrance badge. I've got 2 of these because they just gave us the same one the second year. But remembrance periods are a big deal. So all the scouts and beavers and guides and cadets and whatever, they all go down. All the guys and scouts, we all line up. The cadets do their fancy showing off marching. And we just stand there. We get things. I've realised I completely derailed when I originally was going through the history, and I think I just ended up World Thinking Day, but it's fine. I'll talk about what we did in the war at some point. Do remind me. I've got a pig fundraising. It's like a piggy bank. but I think I will tell you about that when I'm going through my award big folder thing. I've got my guiding history badge, which is a guiding badge, but I did it recently because the guys were doing it. Because there's only 3 rangers, we just sort of tag along with the guides. Sometimes we do guide stuff, sometimes we do ranger stuff, sometimes we don't guide stuff. So it's fun. You get the best of both worlds. So that was where I should have learned all the information that I gave at the beginning of this episode, but I did not because I forgot it all. I've got the Queen's Platinum Jubilee badge. It's quite a fancy one. That was also quickly followed by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, 1926 to 2022. Because she was the patron to girl guiding, we had to make a big deal of it. So,
Of course.
yeah, it's quite nice.
Completely understandable.
It's got silver bits on it. So that was a bit sad. But we had a fun. I did my Ranger Promise at our we had a big celebration. I'm gonna call it a banquet. It was not a banquet in the slightest, but it felt quite fancy. And so it was rainbows all the way up to Rangers. It was quite sweet. What else have I got? I've got my spending time apart but together at heart, conquering the COVID-19 crisis in 2020. I've got my first Pride badge. Because they've got a really nice Pride collection for badges. I've got my badge of Pride that I got when I was in London.
Do they have an Ace Pride badge?
It's just a general Pride badge. It's like Pride 2020, Pride 21, 2021, Pride 22. So my 2019 one, I think is the first one they did because it hasn't got a year on it. And it's got a rainbow border. And then my 2022 one, it's got Pride at the top. And then it's got the flag coming up, and then it's sort of sprinkled. Maybe it's in confetti cannon. But yeah, they don't have specific flag ones. It's just Pride as an event. And I've got a couple Christmas badges because they like giving us Christmas badges. Pardon me. And an Easter badge. What else will we go on? I think we're going to go on to the chocolate town one next because it's cool. We just did all these chocolate activities for a couple of weeks and got a badge class. And now for may take an hour to get through. So, in Somerset, there is this big show called the Bath and West. It's like an animal show, but then also brands do their thing there with their little tents, and it's lots of different things. It's this massive thing. Do you hear of that far up north?
You say that far up north. I'm not up north.
You're further up north than me.
Not by much.
By a bit. Geographically, you're quite far away.
Yeah, east.
Has it reached you that far east, the Bath and West?
I don't know. Probably not.
It's big for big Southwest. And so what guides do? There are Somerset County and Somerset North, and so we alternate each year, being a messenger service. So yeah, there was a bunch of duties you would do. It was kind of like camp, I want to say 4 days, 3 nights. So you were there on the day with everything setting up, and you were there for the rest of it. And the best job was working on the PR tent. I loved that. I think I asked to do it extra because you just go up there and you'd be giving out free bags and stuff to kids, and we got them over and made s'mores over tea lights, and it was just so much fun. I love that bit. But then also you could go be in the office, which is essentially you sat there until your shift was over doing errands, and you would only get 1 or 2. I think we were in pairs. We had to go run up some, I don't even know what it was, fencing stuff, maybe? Perhaps?
Maybe.
I don't know. We had some black pegs and a bunch of white fabric, and we ran that up to the side of tent, which was really hard to find. But then you just sort of had to follow your nose. There was cattle and sheep and possibly also pigs. Cattle was the worst. You stood there for 2 hours waiting to get a book of results that you would then take up to the little trailer they had. But you couldn't lean on the fence because you were representing girl guiding and had to look smart. So you just stood there for 2 hours like, I'm getting quite bored of cows.
Yeah.
Can I go now? Or like, do you have more results? And then at one point, I think I just started walking up and down like, do you have anything for me to take? Do you? Do you? Um, I imagine sheep was similar. I never actually did sheep. What else was there? We did the parade because it's like animal show. The big parade with sheep and cows round the main ring. There were also horses. The horses were like 6 or 7 o'clock at night, so no one saw them. It was really
No.
sad. I did see a bit of. They were looking very fancy.
Nice. See, if I was there and I was promised horses and didn't get to see horses, I would be so annoyed.
They were there. They just weren't like when it was like the cows and the sheep, it was like massive full arena. They go to the horses and there's like a few people there. We were going to the carousel at that point. But I like thinking I thought of you when I saw the horses. So you did the parade, and so you'd have your sign of like the breed, and you'd walk around. I was quite lucky in that I one of my friends, the sheep she had, went through her legs and then slobbered all over her leggings.
Ooh.
So it had its risks. Had its risks. I think I was a bit awkward walking around because I didn't know if I should hold the sign in front of my face or if I should be smiling or not because people were filming it and I'm like, please don't film me. You don't
Yeah.
want to film me. I'm just holding the sign.
Well, that surely they shouldn't be. If it's just like random people, they shouldn't be filming.
Well, they're filming the show. And we're in the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Did you have
I'm there
like
like,
did you have like parental like photo permissions and everything?
possibly. I don't know. I don't remember the form. It was £10 for like for 3 nights or for 3 like full English breakfasts. We weren't caring about photo permission.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I'm like, please don't look at me. And then it's like, do I smile? Do I not smile? I don't want you to think, well, I'm miserable, but also I'm just the sign lady. I'm not part of the show. I'm just the prop. I'm just here to walk around and like try not to get stumbled on and very awkwardly run in front because I'm suddenly really close to this cow and really far away from that one. That was the parade.
That was the parade.
We had we were camping, but it wasn't really like proper camping. It was like we just had a tent that we slept in. We all had our own tents. We had a little bit that was sectioned off for guides, and that was like a mess tent in the middle, and then just tents around the side. And every morning we'd all troop up to the pavilion, and you get a full English breakfast. And the full English breakfasts were great. I did get bacon grease on my top at the first day, which wasn't great.
No.
But then the tea was questionable. So you had these were the options. It was lasagna, which was nice. It was good lasagna. You can't really go wrong with that. Or there
No.
was very dry chicken that was somehow also wet. Very
Huh.
oily fish. Or a pie. That a chicken pie that had gammon in it. And no chicken.
Huh.
And you see, like, chicken is white and gammon is pink, so I was quite concerned when I like took a bite of this pie and I just noticed that there were pink bits in it. And then I went home on like Monday and I threw it all up. So probably gave me.
Oh no.
So yeah, that food was questionable, but it was £10 for like lots of food. So I guess I shouldn't complain.
Yeah.
What are some fun stories I can tell from Bath and West? So first day, it was like first like evening, we get there. There's this group, a few that have been there for like the night before us, I think they were helping set up, and they gave like one of them to like each of like a few groups to show us around. For some reason we got the one that was like boot camp army. She just sets off. And like I'm a fast walker and I was running to keep up with her. And it's a weird welcome. She was just off like a shot. Speed walking, and I'm there like, wait for me. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. That was interesting.
Yeah.
One of my friends, her map got eaten by a goat. She has
Huh.
her mat. They've got these little pygmy goats, they're the really cute little sweet ones, and she walks up to it and it comes up and she gives a little pet. She's got her map in her hand. She's like, oh, cute little goat. And it takes the map out of her hand, walks to the middle of its pen, sits down, and eats it. And she has to go back to the leaders and tell her, like, on my first day I've been here like 20 minutes, I've lost my map. Can I have a new one? Got eaten by goat. We got a beast in our tent at like ridiculous o'clock at night. We knew it was coming because the tent next to us started screaming. That's how you knew the beast was an air tent. And then we started screaming because it was an our tent. And then we were the ones that called for our dolphins. And then we were being as loud as they were. I'm not petty about that. I'm fine. It wasn't even that big of a beetle, to be honest, but it was not the nicest thing to wake up to. There was also a mysterious pair of underwear that was just sort of in a hedge for like half of it, and then it disappears. So like, who knows what went up with that? That was weird. And we had neckers. So you might have some guide people. We can come back to talk about actual like wired guiding wear neckers as part of their uniform. We wear them when we're carnival collecting, and sometimes when we're like around. So this is where we're from. So we had a necker to show we were in the messenger service. We had a yellow one, and it had this triangle badge on the back that said Royal Bath and West Show Messenger Service, and that had like a little woggle to keep it on. And so it was like a little bit of braided leather, like I don't know, maybe about as big as like your thumb to the edge of your hand, where your thumb comes into your wrist. Yeah. And it had a little popper, so you pop it on. That put on. That was your woggle. And the rule was you do not lose the woggle. Guess who lost the woggle?
You.
Twice. The first time, or maybe the second time. One time, we looked for it. We found it. They have like in campsites you got like big like grassy path in the middle. We were like prodding through the grass or by like where the taps were trying to find it. I eventually found it. The second one I just pretended to put back in the box and then they did not catch me. Don't lose your woggle, guys. Don't be like me. Keep your woggle safe. Oh, I also got scammed over wool.
No.
Yeah. Learn from me, folks at home. They had this sketchy guy had this store and it was like mystery Amazon packages. And I was with my friend and he was like, there's loads of stuff in here. There's this, there's that, there's Nike hoodies. My friend, Lucy, we gotta get Nike hoodies. We gotta get them. And she starts bringing them out and she finds this one. It's still sort of like bumpy and she's like, this might be one. I'm like, yeah. I pay him £6 for two. And we open them, and do you know what's in them, Jess? Do you know what's in these packages? These like hoodie Amazon mystery packages?
I have no idea.
A 15-pack of tiny balls of acrylic yarn in colours grey and pink. They're not even nice colours. I say to my friend, I hate you. Why did you make me buy this? Why? The guy behind the table just looks at us and laughs. I'm like, what am I going to do with 30 really? Balls of wool, and they're not even in nice colours, and I don't knit that much.
Send them my way.
It wasn't even nice. It was like the stuff you buy in the works.
Oh, maybe not then. I don't like acrylic wool.
And I'm like, well, we can't take these back to camp. So we tried to flog them. So we walked all around the Bath and West site, which is huge, trying to find old ladies who we could beg to buy this wool from us. And they all said no.
Because it's bad wool.
It's bad wool, and we look insane. Because I'm there, like, begging them, like, don't you want some wool? It's just these random girls who are like, do you want some wool? Please, she made me buy wool. And then we're walking back down the path, like, oh my god! And you know who we bump into? The guide leaders. And they're like, where'd you get that wool from? And we're like, oh, this guy thing. I'm like, we don't really want it then. We're like, oh, we'll have it. We love knitting. And they buy it off me. And I walk back and I'm just trying not to laugh until we get inside our tent. And that's when I realized I totally should have paid. I should have charged them more. I should have got a profit. But I got my money back, and I have learned my lesson, and I will never buy sketchy Amazon mystery packages again, and neither should you.
I
Unless they
didn't
be
plan
15
on it.
packs of sketchy bad wool.
Oh dear, Lou. Only you.
Only me. Actually, not only me, because I wouldn't have done it if she hadn't been like, oh, see, we might get Nike hoodies. We might get the hoodies. Didn't even feel like a
What's so good
hoodie.
about these hoodies?
I don't know that they only cost £3 each. That was the Baphomet. Absolute blast. Made some great friends. What's our next badge? So on my third camp, so it was my second one at Berwick. It was ancient Egypt themed. Very cool. We had to wear a costume, so I went as a pyramid. I made a hat out of cereal boxes. It's amazing. That was good. I've got a really cool badge for that. I can't be bothered to describe it, and it's quite big, so just know it's a very cool badge. I've got a badge which is like a cartoon s'more. It's just s'mores, which actually has no significance. My leader just found 3 in her stores and was like, "There you go. You guys can have it. Don't tell the guides." I've got one for our like district challenge day thing, which we have like I think it's every year, and essentially it's like all these different units go. We've got like in our district, so it's like the main town and a few villages from around it. You've got brownies, guides, obviously rangers. Although we were sort of attached to the guides, I think this year we're going to go up on our own so we can win the trophy. And you go around to each unit's leaders set up a different thing. So we had the best one because my leaders were doing s'mores. So we could just go up. We were just walked off because quite like when you're a ranger, you can sort of low-key do what you want.
Yeah.
We walked up to where our leaders were. We hang out, we made loads of s'mores. I had a lot of extra marshmallows. We helped the rainbows, and it was so sweet because they're holding out their stick with their marshmallow on it. They're not even anywhere near to the fire. Like, is it roasting yet? It's like, no, Samantha, it's not. It's not. I don't think it's even hot yet. But they tried their best. It was
They
very
try
sweet.
their best.
And then I think so. Then you all got like a different score for all these different bits. So we did that. Those different challenges, and then at the end we all stood in a big circle and sang some songs. And then we did not get to the cup. It was a bit sad. I'm sure it all went downhill after we left to go do other bits. But yeah, it's good fun. Lots of other districts do their own district days. I don't know what they do because I'm not there, but they do their other days, and it's just like all of the different. It's quite nice because all of the different units come together, all the different age groups. Because usually you sort of feel like you're in your own little bubble sometimes with guides.
Yeah.
And it's a massive movement, even just in your local area. So it's quite nice just seeing all the different people.
Yeah.
I've talked about World Thinking Day about that. The most recent camp that I've touched on the outdoor one was Gruffalo themed, so I have a Gruffalo badge.
Oh my god.
I
love that.
It's amazing as well. It's amazing badge. So that was great. We made dens for the Gruffalo. I went on a zip wire. It was amazing. We made some like forest badges, masks, like themed mask things out of like leaves and stuff. And it was really funny because so every patrol leader had a whistle. At one point, one of the leaders had to leave to go like back to work, so I also had a whistle because I was doing leader. And if you're in danger, you blow the whistle. And halfway through this activity, where you're collecting leaves and stuff to make a nice, pretty picture, we hear the whistle blow. I don't actually. Other people come running and tell me they hear a whistle blow, and they're like, "The leader's right off, and we came to try and find you." And I'm just sat down, and there are 15 people around me going on this full like Lord of the Flies power struggle. Like, no, you shut up. We need to stay here. We need to leave. We need to go. We need to find the leader. We need to go to camp. And I'm just there with a double-sided sticky tape, sticking down my leaves to make my fox. I am supposed to be responsible for all these children, really, but I'm like, guys, it's fine. To be fair, I think I kept very calm in the situation. And when like half of them ran off, I was like to my group, like, guys, let's just stay here. Let's finish this. This looks pretty, don't you think? It did look very pretty. I want a cupcake for it.
Ooh, nice.
You'll see my my leadership skills coming into play a bit later in this little story. But yeah, it was really good. It was really different being in an outdoor one because that was my first outdoor one. People kept asking me like, "So what's it like being on an outdoor camp?" And I was like, "I don't know. I haven't been on one yet. This is all our first outdoor camp because my unit has not done an outdoor one in like 8 years. So lots of learning experiences." But as young leader, because I was the only ranger, so they was like, may as well. I made fires. I helped fill up stuff. I cut chicken. At one point I did like it was like 9:30. It'd be like final go for like the toilet block, and I had to take 14 people. I say 15. There were 14, 15 including me, down to the toilet block in the dark on my own and not lose anyone. And it was a bit scary because they were just running, and I was like, guys, please stay where I can see you.
They never do.
They never do. I'm surprised we like had everyone. We did roll call a couple times, which is when we all had a number. I was number 1. they numbered us all. They say it was random.
It was not.
I was number 1. And you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and so you know you got
Yeah.
everyone. The only awkward thing is when people either forget their number or don't realize you're doing roll call, because then it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Guys, what's number 5? Oh, 5. Your heart just stopped.
Yeah.
That was good leadership. I didn't lose a guide. I got them all back in one piece with their teeth brushed. So you know, I can be a good leader sometimes when I decide on it. I can be bothered. 3 of them fell in the pond. Not on my watch. We had like a pond kind of near where the campsite, our little bit of camping was, because where we lived was a scout campsite, so it was nice and wild. So there were always little tracks that went off places. And I'm walking back. I think I've just taken like a couple guys to the loo or something, and I see one of them come up, and she is soaked from her waist down, absolutely, and she takes a step, and water just sloshes out of her wellies. I'm like, what happened? And she's like, it's okay. It's only my bottom half. Right? And then in that 2-night, like 3-day camp, I think 3 or 4 fell in the pond.
I don't know whether that's depressing or like impressive.
And I think I say over the 3 days, I'm pretty sure this was all on the same day. And then me and the other sort of older guy, almost a ranger, like, we'll go check, see if there's anyone else there. And I said, we'll let you know if anyone's drowned. And the look of fear on my leader's face was so funny. She's like, oh god, just don't put that thought in my head. Do not put that thought into my head. And I was like, okay, we'll let you know if I let them face down. We did not, thank goodness. But yeah, their clothes took the entirety of camp to dry. The pond was very swiftly banned.
Yes.
And speaking of camp, I think we should now talk about campfires.
Yes.
Very traditional. You sit down on the floor or on logs. One time we had to bring chairs out and I was disgusted.
Ugh.
As they were all new and I'm like, guys, why are we bringing chairs outside? Sit down on the logs. You sing lots of campfire songs. I feel like it would be appropriate for me to teach you one.
Oh dear.
I'm trying to think of a short one that's call and response. Are you ready for your singing to be on the internet, or is this going in the Patreon?
I'm very bad at singing.
Oh no, campfire songs. It's you're vaguely singing, as in you're just yelling tunefully. Okay, would you like to learn Crazy Moose?
Okay.
You just repeat after me. Sing along at home. There was a crazy moose.
I know this one.
Sing then. Show me your skills. There was a crazy moose.
There was a crazy moose.
He liked to drink a lot of juice.
He liked to drink a lot of juice.
There was a crazy moose.
There was a crazy moose.
He liked to drink a lot of juice.
He liked to drink a lot of juice.
Sing away, away, oh.
Sing away, away, oh.
Way, oh, way, oh, way, oh, way, oh.
Way, oh, way, oh, way, oh, way, oh.
Way, oh, way, oh.
Way, oh, way, oh.
Way, oh, way, oh, way, oh, way, oh.
Way, oh, way, oh, way, oh, way, oh.
Ta-da!
Nice!
What do we have? I'm just gonna list some because I think if we were here singing, that was well, there's an Austrian went yodeling.
I
Which is
don't know
when
that one. I'm very glad you
Austrian-
didn't try and get me to yodel down the microphone, though.
Oh, it's great. The chorus is like because you do as you're singing it, it's like you slap your knees, you clap, then you click, and it's like what is it? Yodeling, yodeling, shh. But it's all the things are interrupting his yodeling. It's like an avalanche and a grizzly bear and a dog and a cow and a pretty girl and her father as he shoots him.
Oh my god.
But it doesn't say that. The last verse is like an Austrian went yodeling on a mountain top high when along came her father interrupting his cry. Yodeling, yodeling, shh, shh. What's it? Shh, shh, grr, grr, fan, fan, bang! That's how the end of that's great. But we sang it when I was on Intop, which I will also get into after this. And there was all the slightly young ones going, "What happens at the end? What happens at the end?" I'm like, what there is Animal Fair, which halfway through you split, so one side keeps going monkey, 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 while the other side keeps singing, and it's like a competition to see who can be loudest. And there is a certain point where monkey stops becoming a word. What else? So there's You Never Get to Heaven, which is a good one. That gets a little bit obscene at some points. Three Little Angels, which I think is quite sweet. What else? Thunderation, which is like the iconic one, and it's So the lyrics are thunder, thunder, thunderation. We are the Girl Guides Association. When we work with determination, we create a sensation. And you start really quiet and you sing louder and louder and louder until you're like screaming at the top of your lungs. Yeah. And when my guide leaders were in Finland, they sang it so loud that I think they got noise complaints from either a scout or from a different country. You're like, why are all the English guides so weird? So that's a really fun one. What else? What else are good ones? I feel there's someone one day will be listening to this podcast who knows all these songs and is like, why aren't you including my favorite? Oh, 5 Nights Ago, which is amazing. And it's about a cow knocks over a candle in old Mrs. Murphy's shed, so it goes from flames, and you have 4 parts. And it's like 5 nights ago. What is it? 5 nights ago, when I was in my bed, boom, boom, boom. Oh, Mrs. Murphy, there's a candle in her shed, boom, boom, boom. A cow knocked it over, and this is what she said: it's gonna be a hot night in the old town tonight. Fire, fire, pour on water, save my children, jump, lady, jump. And you go on that. It's great.
That sounds brilliant.
Children, you got those high, like squeaky downs in distress, like hand on your heart, like my children, my children. It's amazing. There's Everywhere We Go, which is a song that you sing when you're out and about, and then people know where you are, and you get louder and louder and louder. So we would sing it when we were exploring on camp or like coming back from stuff. And that's also a fun one. My leg's falling asleep. I'm just gonna have to change my position probably because that's all static. Oh my god, pins and needles. I think I should do 3 things doing that. Oof. Ow. Okay, next batch. I know, I'm going to talk about Intops now. So there's loads of ways to go international with Girl Guides. And one of these is Intop, which is international opportunities. But you've got to be selected. You need to be chosen.
Yes.
So it's in Southwest. So it goes from county to region, and then they pick who's going to go on the trip. So county was a weekend in Webmore, so same place as Summermead, with the awful hole that I mentioned that had no knives and was leaking and dripping. And essentially, it was really fun. It was 12 of us, all different units from around Somerset. Like we had like Taunton, Yeovil, like Wells. We had other places that I cannot remember. Burnham, possibly. Did we have Birmingham? Or was Birmingham not actually in Somerset? I'm very bad at geography.
You're not the only one.
But the whole weekend was one eating pastries because I think either they bought or someone donated these 3 massive boxes of pastries, and they were proper big fancy pastries, and we
Yeah.
were just eating them and eating them, trying to eat them all up. But it was like team building and other games, and like we shared crafts and did certain activities. And there was a small interview which I had to bring a chocolate egg into. They started doing them, and at that point, one of the other guys is like, "Oh, hey guys, here are some chocolate eggs, and it's really sweet." And but then my name gets called, and I just have to awkwardly walk into it and place my nice and shiny got egg on the table, like. So first question, but all that, and I got through to region, which is terrifying because there's like 50 other girls all wanting the same thing.
Yeah.
But with Intops, it's a week, maybe 2 weeks. You go abroad. You're in a team of about 12 girls and like a leader or two, and you are doing a community service project. So one of the leaders there, who was helping with selection, she went to Sri Lanka with Intops. And so they would have in the morning, they would go to preschool and help there. In the afternoon, it would either be after school English teaching, or they would be making this community garden because they didn't really have a lot of outdoor space there. And then in the evening, they do like a touristy activity, and then come home, well, back to the hotel, do lesson plans for the next day. It'd be just that for 2 weeks. So because it's loads of this community service, you can fundraise for it because it's a lot of money. When I was a guide, my young leader, she was raising money to go to Africa, I believe. And it's like
Ooh.
£2,500, and she raised all of it, and it got cancelled because of COVID.
No.
It's such a shame. I hope she gets to go someday. But yeah, they've been to lots of places with Intops just in general. I think they've got to Sri Lanka, Japan, Ireland, other places, Canada, maybe Belgium, yeah. And it's really cool. So I will maybe do another episode, like a follow-up episode, if I go to region and maybe get on a trip just on it going international with guides, perhaps.
Oh, very cool.
But it was very nice. There's 12 of us. We got super close. We do have group chat, and about 6 of us, no, 5 of us have gone through. And then I thought that there were only 9 like counties in the southwest. I think there are still only 9, but I think guiding splits them up into like 13.
Well, some of
So
them must
that's
be quite big.
yeah. I think one of them it's like south something and north something.
Yeah.
Like Somerset County, and then Somerset North. In like, but yeah, in the southwest, you've got Cornwall, Devon, Dorset, Somerset, Gloucestershire, Wiltshire, and like Bristol, which I think technically is its own
Yeah.
county.
Bristol is its own county, yeah. I never hear the end of it from my friend who lives there.
But it should just be part of Somerset.
Yeah, it's just a city,
You're
guys.
right
Come
next to
on.
us. Just so pretty special. We've got Bath. We'll have you as well. So that's in tops. There are other ways to go international though. There are county trips. There are other trips like world centres. You might go as a unit, or you might go, might go on Intops, might do this, might do that. Jamborees are cool. That's a massive meeting. You can take hundreds of girls there.
Yeah.
So well,
See,
with other trips, it's quite small.
I always really wanted to do a jamboree, like any of them. It didn't have to be one of the really huge ones, just a jamboree, and we never did.
Hopefully, I will go to one. If not as a ranger, then as a leader. But I've got a few more years of being a ranger, so one can hope. I think the one last year, maybe this year, is in South Korea.
Ooh.
So there won't be one for a couple more years. I don't know if it's every 2 years or 4 years. I hope it's every 2 years. Then I can go to one when I'm like. So yeah, going international with guides is cool, and there are more opportunities than you think. So if you are a guide and you think I'm never going to go international, yes, you will. Someday. Stick it out, you get there. For some reason, my instinct was to start singing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." Don't really know why.
No idea. Sorry.
Um.
So, just so that we can wrap this up in a relatively timely manner, if there is someone at home listening who wants to get involved in guides or has a kid who wants to get involved in guides, because I know our demographic tends to swing a bit more towards the late 20s, early 30s. What would your top tips be?
So, number one, absolutely go for it. No matter what age you are, you can be, you can be as a young member or you can volunteer. I always want volunteers, and I love my leaders. And I'm sure it's wonderful to know that you've got like 20, young girls, young women who absolutely look up to you. The top tips is try everything. I had lots of like firsts with guides, which was really nice. I had like first sparklers, first s'more. So s'mores are super special to me now because they just remind me of guides. I will eat like 5 in one go. So it's a dangerous habit. Make friends with the people around you, which I sounds really obvious, but like sometimes you know someone from school and you'll stick with them, but like you'll get really close to your unit if you let yourself be really close to your unit. And my other 2 rangers, I absolutely adore with my whole heart. You better not be listening to this because they don't need to know how sad I'm gonna get. And it's like, yeah, you're your own little unit family. People you love, people you hate, people you would dangle around down into the pond, people you fish out the pond. Just try everything, go for everything, and sign up right now.
Yes.
Online, you can do it.
Yes. And as someone who did this as a very small child far too long ago, it is a lot of fun. I recommend. Even like I know that my like brownie group was like not very big, and like I don't know how money works for the guides and stuff, but like we had basically no money. It was basically entirely on a volunteer basis.
A lot of it it's all volunteer basis. You pay subs and sub goes towards renting.
Yeah, so like we basically only did the sort of crafts that you do like basically at after school club. There was a lot of colouring in and stuff like that, but it was fun because of the people who were there.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like you're being empowered and you're learning these life skills like you don't really learn at school and sometimes not at home. It's its own special sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I would say I would not be the person I am today without guides because it has taught me lots of important skills, like how to make eggy bread.
That is the most important thing to take from this episode. Eggy bread is the best thing ever.
Girl guiding. Eggy bread is the best thing ever. Next time when Lucy talks about girl guiding, we go into the many awards because I have a folder full that I haven't even touched. How I got into guiding because I forgot to talk about that. And I don't know. Whatever other fun experiences I've had since then.
Wonderful. So, on that note, I think it is goodbye from me.
Cue the outro.
And it's goodbye from you too.
Cue the outro.
Yes. Cue the outro music.
Bye, friends.
Now we just need to say goodbye.
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 Make good life choices.
Make good life choices.
Thank you so much for listening. If you've made it all the way to the end, congrats! You are officially much stronger than half of our friends. If you are enjoying listening to this podcast, please subscribe to get notified when we update, or follow us on Tumblr at HeyILike, all lowercase. That's all for now. See you next time on Hey, I Like.